Labour Party has been setting out its plans for winning more seats in this region at the next election. With just under 2 years before we go to the polls, Labour says it needs to work harder to win over voters here. The biggest problem, they say, is that voters here are simply not clear about what Labour stands for. Our political correspondent Andrew Sinclair has been reading the report. He's at Westminster now. Andrew.
Well, Stuart, Labour, as we've said before, knows that it has to win seats in the southeast and particularly our region if it ever wants to get back into government again. And in recent years, it's done quite well in local elections, but not as well as it had hoped. Now, today's report says that there are more hard-to-reach voters in the southeast than any other part of the country. And in many places, it says Labour is just not seen as being very active in the local community, and most voters don't think it will ever stand a chance of winning. That attitude, it says, has to change among activists.
What we want most of all about our region is to make sure there are no parts of it where there's a sort of Labour can't win here feel about it. We want to win our key targets in terms of parliamentary seats, but if we can't win those, we want to win council control. If we can't win council control, we want to enlarge the Labour group. We want to win at some level in all parts of the region.
But Andrew, really, it's all about policies. They need policies, don't they?
Yes, and policies that chime with people living in the East. According to this report, most voters don't care about traditional Labour values like nationalisation. We're not bothered who runs the trains, providing that they run on time. And we're fed up with people thinking that because we live in the southeast, we're fairly well off. So the party has been told that from now on in our region, it will stop talking about the north-south divide. It will talk far more about living standards. The gap between the richest and the poorest is greater in the southeast than any other part of the country. It will talk more about the pressures of tuition fees, of low wages in coastal towns. It will talk more about the rise in bus fares and train fares, problems with second homes, migration issues, which it believes play really well and which really matter to people in the southeast. Now,